closest to the pin and best costing. To register you or your team, go to angelhousebci.org.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Tuesday's weather forecast. Sunny the remainder of the day with temps near 84 and a wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear skies tonight, a light breeze out of the northeast and a temperature of 67. About the same tomorrow, around 85 with sunshine and a wind at 7 miles per hour out of the east-northeast. Sunny Thursday and quite warm around 82. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Your NFL and college football headquarters is Dak Cajun Place. With 27 TVs, you won't miss a play or a game. Score 50-cent wings during live games every Monday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. 50-cent wings. And $5 pitchers during live games only at Dak Cajun Place. LSU and Saints fans, wear your team colors and get free Jell-O shots when LSU or the Saints score. Plus brunch on Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 2 with $3 mimosas. Game like a local at Dak Cajun Place.
CBC Construction is looking for a few good men. At CBC Construction, our greatest strength lies within our talented team. Join us and be a part of a dynamic company that values its people. We offer a tremendous opportunity to create a future for your family and the Florida Panhandle. CBC Construction is now hiring. Call us at 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com to learn more. CBC Construction. Be part of a winning team.
Reliable Copy Products is proud to be the exclusive dealer in Northwest Florida for Kyocera office equipment. Reliable Copy Products has been committed to providing professional, personalized service for the last 35 years. They understand that the right equipment does not always fall within today's budget requirements, so they offer several options for the equipment you need today for the growth you expect tomorrow. Call James Smothers at 784-6601. 784-6601. Reliable Copy Products on Harrison Avenue, just north of Bay High School.
Keep the adventure going this holiday season in a new Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Bill Bird Kia now offering 0% APR for up to 48 months, plus a $500 APR bonus on the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sorento during the big fall savings event going on now. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. It's the best family SUV with third-row seating space, providing extra comfort for the entire family. Bill Bird Kia, the home of that 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia S and LX models. $20.83 per month per 1,000 financed in 48 months. Quantities limited. $500 APR bonus is applied as down payment and no cash value cannot be combined with other finance offers. Not available on balloon financing. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers must take delivery from dealer stock through 11/3/25.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose? We can typically replace them while you wait. Hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? In many cases, we can have it back to you the next day. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport, just south of Tractor Supply. The best place in town to take a leak.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. John. Powered by Panama City Toyota, ESPN Northwest Florida. And now, the Gulf Coast's newest sports talk host.
Hey, there's the new guy.
Paul Wilson.
That is not winning football.
Paul is your pipeline to the heart of the action.
The defense can only play this good for so long.
Hot takes, big reactions, and your calls are incoming.
This week, it's really going to be crucial.
The Sports Blitz.
They're playing championship football.
The new Sports Blitz.
You can say what you want.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
That time It's Tuesday here at the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We missed you. We know you missed us too because yesterday we was Columbus Day in it all day long. But man, oh man, it is exciting to get back into it. As always on Tuesday, I got Jeffrey in the house. Jeffrey, how you doing, my buddy?
I'm doing good. I picked a whole lot of games all weekend correctly, and then Monday night happened. What's the deal with me and Monday night?
Doesn't work good.
It just flips the script on me every time.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I get all my hopes up. I'm like, look at this, guys. Look at what I'm doing. Monday night.
Yep. It's like every upset that can happen happens.
Yeah. And you know what? Most of the time, well, not most of the time, about half the time, I do turn off the TV thinking my team won or something like that, and then,
wake up.
But last night, yeah, I knew what was about to happen. I watched it go down.
Yeah.
I watched the end of the Commanders.
Yeah.
Yeah, sad.
And always on Tuesday, wearing the blue shirt, looking like he's on a big old keto diet. Bone Crusher. How you doing, Bone Crusher?
How about those dirty birds?
I knew it.
Oh, man.
I knew it was coming. I mean, when you think about beating the Bills at home, and you don't really think about it. Not the Falcons.
And you know what the crazy part was? Before it happened, I really didn't see the Falcons winning that game.
No.
But what I did see was all these wide receivers of the Bucs going down and being like, could the Bucs lose this division? And then the Falcons did that. And I was like, they could.
Yeah.
They could.
It's curious
because the Bucs are all banged up. Hey, what do you think? You think the Falcons?
The division's wide open, man.
It is. Well, no, it's not wide open because the Saints are down there, and the Panthers are horrible, too. They both got one win, and the only thing good about them is that they get to play each other twice. But, I mean, I'm telling you, the Bucs are playing the Falcons soon, and what? They're all banged up. They got to beat them head-on. Got to beat them head-on to take that division.
Right. I think the Falcons got a really good chance at they're in it. They're 3-2 now.
And then Baker Mayfield walks in the room and shuts everybody's mouths.
He
goes out there every week with third and fourth team wide receivers. He gets his best rookie wide receiver hurt because he lays him out, throws him one across the middle.
Evans is out. Ibuka
is out. Goodwin is out.
Oh, my.
Or Godwin is out.
Godwin is out. Yeah.
I mean, he has nobody to throw the ball to, but they still keep winning.
It's going to be Texas A&M. Give me a 12th man.
Yeah, who cares? Bucky Irving is out.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, no run game, no wide receivers, but they're still scoring. They're still winning ball games. Baker Mayfield, MVP at this point.
And I hate to say it, I mean, the Chiefs have done a little bit of this. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
They've done it with different players and all that, but they get the referees' help. The Bucs really don't even need that.
Are you jumping on that bandwagon?
I am.
Kansas City.
Zero penalties, really? You didn't think that there was a hold in that game?
So you're telling me, let me ask you this question. Do you believe that you could call something every single play?
No.
See, I do.
Really?
And I'm a referee.
I think that. Oh my God, your whistle's getting blown out.
I think you can call something specifically to the rules every single play.
Now, do you referee more baseball than football?
Yeah. Yes, just because of the tournaments. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, which one do you like refereeing more? Because I would say basketball would be last. Yeah. I would not want to do basketball.
Basketball is good because you're always
so
moving.
Fast.
It's fast.
And that's harder to do. And then also the people are passionate. The fans, the dads, they're all passionate.
Yeah. Well, it's different with baseball. Now, this is going to sound weird. You got to have a good pair of shoes for both. But football, you need to have a better pair of shoes because it seems like as the games get longer, my feet hurt more.
Oh, yeah.
But like when you are reffing or umping baseball, now normally if you get, say, 6 games in a day, you'll be 3 times behind the plate and then 3 on the bases. Well, those 3 times, every single pitch, you're squatting. So you squat the whole game. So later on that night, you kind of start to get a little sore. So then when you're out there around the bases, you're a little bit more tired. So it just kind of depends. I like the football because you're done. Because see, the next on baseball, when you're doing a big tournament, you know, you go to sleep on Saturday night and then you wake up and come right back again. And now it's the championship time. It's time for the bracket play.
And then that's when people are really passionate.
Yeah, they care about winning those $2 rings. It's important.
Yeah. I'd never have gotten into anything with a referee ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's surprising. I would seem like, it would
now
seem
I have been involved in some chants.
Sure.
But I was in a stadium with thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah.
You know? It's a little different. It's not like you. No, it's like y'all.
Yeah, the toxicity comes runs pretty deep.
I've never thrown anything at the field, though.
Good.
Because, you know, I mean, we've all seen this.
Yeah, well, these shows are recorded, so you could get in trouble if you
Well, no, I mean, the college fans do it more often than NFL fans, throwing stuff onto the field.
Yeah.
And I've seen it, and I don't condone it.
No. Well, let's go back to it. When you look at it, you think really that the Kansas City Chiefs, you feel like the referees prefer them. They give them the more of the calls. But you don't believe that there could be a call every single play.
No. I would say more than 60%, though, of the football plays, you could call something every play.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're talking, defensive pass interference. Holds. Oh, my God.
They're all day long. That's why you can call it every play.
That's why.
A hold is every play. Yeah. Whether it's on the defense, whether it's on the offense, illegal hands to the face, grabbing, pulling, hands outside, whatever.
In basketball, I had been called for things, as a player.
Yeah.
But I remember in football, I only got called one time for something, and I was so upset about it. I was a wideout, and I was off the line. I was on the line, and I told the referee on the outside, I said, hey, I'm on the line, and he still called it. I told him, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I didn't say that. I was a little kid, and I wasn't going to disrespect anybody like that.
Yeah, well, you're supposed to get the thumbs up from the side judge to let him know that you're on the line.
Yeah, I'm on the line.
I'm on.
He looked at me, and he acknowledged it.
He acknowledged it, but then he threw the
this is
flag
like the 80s,
Oh, that's a long time ago. And that's what you remember about your childhood
That's what I remember,
football.
that I had one call bad on me in football. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is crazy. I don't remember ever getting called for a foul, except for in basketball. Time, I argued the referees every time. I led my team.
Injections?
No, they didn't throw you out that much back then.
They didn't.
So I led the team in technical fouls in basketball for sure.
Wow.
And I would be amiss if I would say that I didn't lead the county in technical fouls as well.
Wow.
I probably had 4 or 5, 6 maybe in a season. Yeah.
There's players in basketball that I do not like because of their attitude and how much they do, like Draymond Green.
Yeah, no, I wasn't arguing. I mean, the fact that I was arguing is that, they really fouled me. I mean, that was the thing. And they would not call the fouls as much. I don't know. I mean, I shot the ball a lot in high school though. So, I had a lot of opportunities to get fouled. But anyway, either way. So when you look at the Tampa Bay Bucks, when you look at the Atlanta Falcons, because I watched the game last night, and when you looked at the way Drake London, let me just go ahead and say that Drake London is probably top 5, top 8 wide receiver in the NFL. I mean,
top 5?
He's dominant.
I don't think top 5.
Well, I'm talking about this year. I'm not talking about because you can't put Jamar Chase in there right now because he doesn't have anybody throwing the ball to him. So
he's not getting the ball.
He's not getting the ball. So could he possibly be the best wide receiver? Obviously, yes, I think so.
Wow.
But he's got to have somebody to throw the ball to him.
Yeah.
But he makes Michael Penix Jr. look so good because Penix – he missed a lot of passes last night. He missed a lot of wide open, and Drake London, with his big frame and just being so big. And
so it makes me wonder how many wide receivers have made their quarterback look really, really good. And, I mean, Eli Manning, I don't know how you feel about him. I mean, he's above average, but he had some wide receivers make him look real good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not.
That's the one that pops into my head.
Yeah, he's not.
I like Eli, but I'm sorry.
But then you also wonder about, when they leave and go somewhere else.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you look at.
Devonta Adams.
Yeah.
He's the one. It's like he goes from here to there to here and all that, and it's like wondering what's he all about anyway, you know?
I mean, he looks
he's
good.
had flashes.
He
and then
looks
Deebo
good.
Samuel keep on getting hurt, you know?
Yeah.
And I loved him. I thought he was unbelievable at the 49ers. And then just the career just didn't pan out like I thought it would.
Yeah, he just keeps getting hurt. He's just banged up all the time.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of, it's part of it.
And you know what? I was trying to remember, it was a little more than a week ago, I was trying to remember the name Des Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I couldn't remember because we were talking about Cowboys and wide receivers and everything, because CeeDee Lamb's the man now, and of course T.O. was back in the days, but it's Des Bryant.
Yeah, he was
Anyway.
the one. But when you look back at the Falcons last night, and the defense played good, that's the other part of this whole scenario. The Bills' defense, they got a problem. They can score points. Josh Allen's great.
Yeah.
They can run the football. They can throw the football. Josh Allen can get outside the pocket. If Josh Allen doesn't score every series or every time they get the ball, the defense is very suspect. And so you know how they were picked at the beginning of the year to be one of the top 3, 4, 5 teams, the Bills. And I just, with that defense right now, they're in trouble because they give up too many wide open third downs, fourth downs, second downs, first downs. I mean, they don't play good defense right now.
Well, let me tell you what's funny about that. I listened to Canty in the morning.
Yeah.
It's on ESPN. And last week, they moved up the Lions to number 1.
Yeah.
Because the Eagles dropped out. And I think the Bills are either second or third. Guess what? Neither one of those teams are in the top 5 this week in their countdown.
Wow.
And I think it's so fickle. It's like every week, what have you done for me this week?
Yeah.
Not even lately. It's just this week. And I don't want to say that's disappointing, but you're right about the Bills. The Bills' defense has to be more consistent.
Yeah, because they're not good at all.
And when you say about the preseason, if I were to rank them preseason, they were number 4 or number 5 in my book.
Yeah, I mean,
and they started out really good, but let's look. The Chiefs and the Ravens aren't what we thought that they were. And they were top 5 teams easily. Right?
I mean, yes, Ravens, with the Chiefs beating the Lions this weekend, I'm not so sure. I don't know because they're so, up and down.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So Canty had them number 5. And I'm like, really? 5? I don't think they're top 5.
Well, when Rice comes back, that's when they feel like they're going to really be able to explode a little bit because Xavier Worthy, and then you've got obviously Kelsey, and then you've got Juju.
Kelsey's not what he used to be.
No, but Juju, I don't know if he's okay or not because he got punched in the nose by Brian Branch, a former Alabama player. He was pretty
Branch
upset.
got, is he suspended next
One
game?
game suspension without pay.
Now, did you see how the Chiefs, whatchamacallit, came back at him? And it was like
Juju came back running after him.
Juju Schuster-Smith.
Yeah.
Who used to be the Steelers. He, what did you think, what would you call on that if you were the referee?
Well, the game was over.
Yeah.
So there's really nothing the refs could do.
Yeah.
Now it's the NFL having to step in and being able to tell them what.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he slapped him in his face. What is the protocol? What are you supposed to do? It's just like school. And when you're at school and somebody hits you in the face, you're not supposed to respond. So you're supposed if you get punched in the face at school and then you punch back, if you punch back, you're just as guilty as the person that punched. So I guess if you're going to be that way, then Juju Smith-Schuster deserves to be suspended for a game as well because he went back to it after he got punched,
or at least a half a game.
Yeah. Or some kind of fine.
Something.
So if you're going to be that way, but I don't know the protocol because that could be, are we going to go after the one that started it, instigated it, and all that? Which I agree. I think that's the way you should go. I think that's the way it should be in school because then, as well, is now
then it would shut it down.
It would stop it.
The fights don't happen. It's just one incident and then it's over with.
Yeah, but either way, I don't know. So as far as like looking into this year, you can't doubt the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just because of the play of Baker Mayfield. And I'm not a huge Baker Mayfield fan, but he's growing on me because the mental toughness, the ability of just saying I'm going to win, and then really not having any weapons to throw the ball to. Obviously, they're NFL guys. Don't get me wrong. When I say he doesn't have the stars out there, he doesn't have Mike Evans, he doesn't have Chris Godwin, he doesn't have Mbuka now. And so when you look at that team, they're scary there. No. Do I believe they're going to drop? No. Do I believe that they'll get back healthy and they'll be just as dominant? Yeah. They're scary good because they win those close games. They know how to finish a game off. Yeah. And that's really, to me, the biggest part of being a good team.
Well, the comeback, the first 3 weeks, right?
Yep.
Last drive. And then who was the team that knocked them out? Was it the Chiefs that just shut them down? They beat them by like more than 2 touchdowns? Or was the Eagles?
It was the Eagles beat them, yeah.
So the hard part of their schedule is that they play first place schedule.
Yeah.
But the easy part is they got their division twice each.
And that's going to be for them. They're going to make the playoffs.
They're going to make the playoffs. Even if it's just a wild card, even if the Falcons are able to steal that division somehow.
There's no way the Falcons are going to steal that division.
Yeah.
It has to be. They have to play at home. Don't forget, this is the same Falcons team that got blown out as well. So
let me ask you.
Not so fast.
So, well, there's less of a chance of the Falcons stealing a division than the who's in the Colts division right behind them? Jacksonville?
Jacksonville's got a better chance. Yeah, Jacksonville's got a better chance.
These are 2 horrible divisions.
Yeah, they're bad, but I mean, the teams are okay. They can get. It just depends on what team you have. I mean, look at what Carolina did with the Cowboys. They beat the Cowboys. Yeah. They wasn't supposed to beat the Cowboys, but it's just like one day they have a great day.
1 point.
They still beat them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Carolina is supposed to be terrible, and they're not.
And the Cowboys have tied the Packers?
Yeah.
And then you're like looking at
how did that happen?
They're so inconsistent. There's teams that are inconsistent. Vegas is making money this year.
They have to be because,
absolutely. On the NFL, they definitely. Actually, even on college football, they're making pretty good money.
It's so crazy. Every weekend, we talk about both leagues, college football and the NFL, of the upsets and the craziness that's going on. And now we got to look at the other one, the Bears versus the Commanders last night. That's the other one that we were talking about. I mean, the Bears won, what was it, 25-24? Yeah, 25-24.
Last second field goal.
So let me ask you this. Now that Ben Johnson is with the Bears, with Caleb Williams, and you're starting to see his progression starting to get better. He's got a good wide receiver. He's got good tight ends. His blocking's okay. He's good outside the pocket. I mean, he looked just as good as Jaden Daniels did last night, and all the hype was around Jaden Daniels because of what he did last year as a rookie, which is garnered.
And they were playing in Washington.
Right. So they were
home game
at Washington. And the Bears come in.
And we know what happened last year.
Right.
At that last Hail Mary.
Yeah. And the Bears come in there and beat them.
And you know what the trajectory last year when that game happened? Washington went whoop. And then Chicago went whoop.
Yep.
They went in 2 different directions after that game. It was shock. But the Bears are shocked by that game.
But is Ben Johnson, the former Lions offensive coordinator, is he a legitimate head coach? Is he starting to turn this Chicago team around?
Okay, there's a difference between legitimate. He's legitimate, yes. Is he great? No. Is he bad? No. So he's in the middle, obviously, I think. And I think we've been talking, if you listen to Bears fans, I don't know if you do, but I do, every year, I don't want to say their fans are always hyped up on their team. Look at how much talent we have. Look at this guy and this guy. How can we not win? And every year it's like last place. Oh, the Vikings took last place for almost 1 year, and then they're right back in last place again. And then, I kind of am convinced by them sometimes, like, yeah, y'all do have talent. I see it. But then they just don't produce wins.
Is this the year,
though? If Ben Johnson is above average coach, he could have them in the wild card hunt.
Yeah, because is that division too tough for the Bears to win? That
division is tough. I mean, really.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about Kansas City's, division, but the Raiders are still, they're garbage. They're garbage.
Yeah, they're terrible.
So if anybody's garbage in that division, you really kind of look at the Bears usually, and sometimes the Vikings, but No, that division's solid.
Well, with the Vikings having the problem that they're having at quarterback, you got a hurt Carson Wentz playing with a sore shoulder.
Yeah.
And then you got J.J. McCarthy who's practicing, but for some reason, they don't want to play him until he's 100%. They said 95's not going to do. Do you think they might have already, are they having buyer's remorse about J.J. McCarthy after having him for 2 years now? This is the second year.
I think it's a let's see.
Just a let's see.
Because he hasn't played enough.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's the problem. He's been here for 2 years and he's played 7 quarters.
Yeah. I mean, the Saints are going to let it see with Rattler, and the guy's like 1-11 as a starter.
But that's not really all his fault. That's not all on him.
I don't know, man.
I'm not a big him fan either. I'm not a big Spencer Rattler fan either, but
they gotta get
it's not all about him. Let me ask you this, though, about the Bears real quick.
Yeah.
So can a team with someone that the coach gets the most out of the quarterback when the quarterback is very talented lead the team to places that they wouldn't normally go with the talent? I know we said they got a lot of talent, and they do, but the relationship of being able to garner the ability of Caleb Williams, is that the real way that Ben Johnson is going to make this thing work? Is that he just somehow, some way, because Caleb Williams has had so many people speaking into his life he's had 2 coaches now. He's on his third coach. Yeah, he's on his third coach now.
Yeah.
He went from Oklahoma, then he went to USC. So, obviously he was with the same coaching staff for the most part. But still, I'm just saying, like, is that how they're going to be able to do it? Is that the recipe? Because that's the Mahomes and Andy Reid deal. It's the head coach and the quarterback.
Yes.
On the same page, knowing each other, getting familiarity with each other.
Tomlin and Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
Another one.
Belichick and Brady.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Peyton and Breeze. Like, is that the recipe for the NFL?
I'm going to say yeah, but, sometimes they aren't that top level. And Caleb Williams is probably not that top level. He's not a top 10 quarterback. Kyler Murray comes to instance with that Texas Tech coach that came in and got fired. The quarterback guru, Cliff Kingsbury. Yeah.
He's the offensive coordinator for the Commanders.
That guy was a quarterback whisperer, right?
Yeah, at Texas Tech.
Didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Sometimes it just doesn't work. Sometimes you have Kyler Murray, who's just an average quarterback. So how good is Caleb Williams,
Yeah.
And I'm not going to put him on that level with Marino, because Marino and Shula.
Yeah.
But did they win a Super Bowl? No, they lost one, and then that was it. They never got back.
So you wonder, because it seems like that's what everybody's trying to do. Look at Dabble and Dart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Look at Bo Nix and Sean Payton.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's trying to do that. So that's the recipe.
Jerry Jones and Dak Prescott.
No. Not so fast, my friend.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah.
I don't care if I insult the Cowboys fans. They kind of know where they're at,
Yeah, that was funny. There was the game last night. There was somebody there that had a Cowboy stink on their shirt or something. It wasn't even like a Cowboy shirt, but it was a Cowboy stink or something like that.
God.
But anyway, so.
That's funny.
Either way.
You know who's playing the Cowboys this week?
Who?
Commanders.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a bitter rivalry there, and that game was in Washington last night.
Yeah, so the Redskins and the Cowboys, they used to be the big one.
Yep.
All right, well, you know what today is, right? It's Tuesday.
Yeah.
So after the break, Taylor Devers. Florida State football. We got to talk about it. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Taking your hot takes, rants, and takedowns. Let's hear it on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Sports Blitz.
They called a good game. I mean, the difference between Texas and the previous few games, our players went out and executed. Yeah. They did their job, and that's where we have lacked. Maybe if we retain Billy for another year, we need to start the year off with 2 bye weeks. Let us have our bye weeks at the beginning of the season instead of 2 in the middle. We'll call him bye week Billy instead of bad week.
The Sports Blitz.
Live and local, weekdays 4 to 6.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Tuesday's weather forecast. Sunny the remainder of the day with temps near 84 and a wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear skies tonight, a light breeze out of the northeast and a temperature of 67. About the same tomorrow, around 85 with sunshine and a wind at 7 miles per hour out of the east-northeast. Sunny Thursday and quite warm around 82. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
We're proud to bring you the most popular cars in the world, like the stylish Camry and the sporty Corolla. Get award-winning style and 1.99% APR on a new Camry, named the best new model by Kelley Blue Book. Plus, you get 90 days until you make your first payment. Curb appeal comes standard on the new Corolla. Designed to wow from the inside out. Get 3.49% APR plus 90 days until your first payment. Panama City Toyota, your Camry and Corolla headquarters.
Offers end November 3rd. Visit PanamaCityToyota.com for details.
Reliable Copy Products is proud to be the exclusive dealer in Northwest Florida for Kyocera office equipment. Reliable Copy Products has been committed to providing professional, personalized service for the last 35 years. They understand that the right equipment does not always fall within today's budget requirements, so they offer several options for the equipment you need today for the growth you expect tomorrow. Call James Mothers at 784-6601. 784-6601. Reliable Copy Products on Harrison Avenue, just north of Bay High School.
The Rich Eisen Show.
Kurt Kreischer back on the program. Why are we calling it permission to party?
Certain times you get a permission to party, and it's always when the person that doesn't drink says, I don't know, do you want to do a specialty cocktail tonight? And you're like, I just got permission to party. That energy is the reason I party. And the reason I'll never stop partying. We turned on the hot tub last night, and Leanne goes, should we open a bottle of rosé? I go, oh, we're getting lit tonight. Like, that energy is what I'm looking forward to.
Rich Eisen weekdays starting at 11, now on ESPN Northwest Florida.
You found us inside the CBC Construction Studios. You've got the games, but we've got the breakdown.
That's the difference between a winning football team and a losing football team.
Hot takes, cold truths, and the takedowns that get everyone talking. This is the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson.
Then you're going to run into a big problem.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, you can call in, you can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. We're pumped up. We're excited. It's a Tuesday here in the Panhandle, and we're already talking about NFL football, but we have our friend on the phone from Chop Chat Norvell Central, who does not have the flu, COVID, or any such thing, Taylor Devers. How you doing, Taylor?
Probably was sick this past week because that was brutal.
Yes. My friend, we have got to talk about this. We are starting to feel a little bit of Dennis Green up in this joint. The Florida State team is exactly who we thought they were. Oh, my goodness. So let me ask you this. So you have a team, and just, let's just go ahead and throw this out there. You did a special appearance on Thursday with us, and I told you with all seriousness and all confidence that there was no possible way that a Pittsburgh Panther team could come into, isn't that their the Panthers? There's no possible way that a Pittsburgh Panther team could come in with a freshman quarterback to Doak Campbell Stadium and beat the Florida State Seminoles.
And not even win the turnover battle.
I mean,
really?
It was horrendous. Now, Taylor, I didn't call you. I didn't text you. I didn't mess with you. I didn't say anything. Mm-hmm. What is going on with the Seminoles?
Mason Heinschel had 400 total yards.
let that sink in. On the road, Mason Heinschel had 400 total yards. That is embarrassing. There were moments in the game where literally on third down and goal at the 15-yard line, you had a defensive end coming straight up the middle, no blockers involved at all, tries to go up, falls for a pump fake, hands in the air trying to deflect the pass, goes right between him, throws it to a wide-open receiver in the end zone. And at the end of the day, Florida State didn't execute. Their defense didn't execute. And as bad as everybody wants to talk about the defense, the offense, the last 2 drives of that game, 3 plays, 0 yards, 3 plays, -3 yards to end the game. That is rough.
Yeah, he's a 3-star, 18-year-old, and has played in 3 games. I mean, his numbers wasn't bad. I mean, 21 for 29, 321 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. He did have the 2 picks like you were talking about, Jeff. And the thing is like, it wasn't that he razzle-dazzled us. It wasn't that he just come out there and looked the part. It was that Florida State just like gave the and we were talking earlier, Pitt looked like they tried to give the game away as well.
It was just weird. I mean, because the thing about it was Desmond Reed, one of their best running backs, he's been out for a month with an injury. And Mike Norvell constantly talked about how he's going to be available in this game. Injury reports said he's doubtful for the game. Obviously, they're playing against Florida State, so you know Florida State's luck. He's going to come into the game and absolutely play his heart out. He has over 200 total yards. I mean, nobody in the backfield. Linebackers couldn't cover him. Even some of the slot corners couldn't cover him. I mean, he was just, every time it was like a wheel route going to the end zone for a touchdown. I don't know how many times you've seen that in a Florida State uniform with some linebackers trying to cover out in space. It just seemed like again and again and again, there were so many errors that Florida State, you can blame it on 1 or 2 plays here and there, maybe it could swing a different way, but I'm tired of hearing it's one play, it's one possession, it's one thing we could have done differently, it's one thing we could have done this, when actuality is you didn't execute. I'm going to sound like Brian Kelly here again and again and again because you didn't execute, and you're not going to execute until you focus in and try to actually take a team out of a game and being able to be successful in that, and that's not something Mike Norvell's done during his era at Florida State.
So the fans were wanting it. Everybody, all the that was at the game wanted it. The fans on TV were wanting it. People online was wanting it. It did seem like that they've forgotten how to tackle. It seems like they've forgotten how to play. I mean, they had a lot of penalties. The yards and third down and all of that was about the same. They both were pathetic when it come to third downs. They were both like 7-16 and 5-14. So there wasn't anything that was like really big. I mean, Pittsburgh got a couple of fourth down conversions. Other than that, everything on the stat sheet, on the stat line, looked about the same. Same amount of plays, same amount of conversions, like I was saying, and all of that. But when you look at this team, it just, I don't know. It did not seem like the same team. It definitely didn't seem like the same team that played against Alabama. And I get it. When you have a loss, it does something to you. It either does one of 2 things. It either propels you to change your mind on how you were playing, or it throws you down and goes deeper and deeper into, maybe this season ain't the year. And you stop believing. And that, to me, is what I saw. I saw players that just did not seem like they believed in what they were doing. Do you feel the same way about that, or do you think it was just poor execution?
A lot of things. I mean, it just feels like those players, as Tony White had said, the defense coordinator, he just said, those guys are just not willing to come up and play. They're not playing with the same aggression. They're not doing anything correctly on defense to be able to make the next play. It's great and all to come up and try to make a tackle, but you have to wrap up. It's great to be physical, but you have to have controlled aggression. So there's a lot of times where Desmond Reed was trying to catch a ball out of the backfield, and next thing you know, a linebacker misses in space. Next thing you know, it turns from a 6-yard gain to a 35, 40-yard gain. And that's a problem. And we talked about it before. Tony White, he was kind of in the running for the UCLA job. He's an alumni over there. He played 3 years over at UCLA. Everybody's kind of like, well, UCLA's a train wreck and everything else. But as soon as those rumblings started coming out, Florida State's defense has played absolutely horrendous. I don't know if it's because he accepted a job there. I don't know if it's because he just had so much pressure that kind of altered his decision-making a little bit on defense. I have no idea, but it just seems like ever since that point, Tony White has just said, you know what, scrap that game plan against Alabama where we played super aggressive and physical. Let's try to be more conservative. Let's keep everything in front of us, and let's have linebackers covering space. Just doesn't seem right, and it just feels weird that Florida State is not playing as aggressive as they did against Alabama.
Well, I mean, I almost see two different teams here, because I felt like when Florida State came back on Miami, I saw one type of team. I didn't think that Miami was really on top of their game in the second half. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Florida State handling Alabama. Alabama's a different team right now. They've gotten better and better every week, it seems like. But then you have the Virginia and the Pittsburgh game, and you almost like look at those two, and you're like, is it that y'all just don't win close games? Can you not play 4 quarters? Is it the fourth quarter where you just fold because you've given it everything you have? I don't understand this team. And I can't even say they're getting worse every week, because after that Miami second half, I really started to believe that Florida State was going to win this game, and they proved me wrong. And let me ask you. So you got Stanford, and then you got a bye, then you got Wake Forest, and then you go at Clemson. Mm-hmm. Do you think that if you lose at Clemson and then you lose the Gators at the end of the year, do you think Norvell could be gone?
Not necessarily. Not to say 7-5 is that type of motivation that everybody needs, and especially when you're losing to all 3 rivals at that point, if you want to classify Clemson as a rival. I don't really know. I mean, that's kind of a situation where it looks like the schedule for 2026 is absolutely, I mean, it's really rough for Florida State, going in there playing, the Alabama, the Notre Dame, the Florida, the Miami, the Clemson, I mean, and the Louisville and SMU. I mean, there's some games there that can be a slip-up. And obviously, if you're looking at the future of Florida State and you're saying, okay, 7-5 after this year, and you're going into that 26 schedule and you're looking at everything that's in front of you at that point, the administration might say, look, it was an okay season. You were able to kind of navigate some things. You went 4-2 in your last 6. But 7-5 is not going to cut it, especially next year whenever, you have these expectations. You have a new stadium. You have a new football facility. You're trying to develop that recruiting class, and you're trying to do things throughout the transfer portal, and you're not able to do that because the production on the field is not where you want it to be. That's concerning, and I don't really know. I mean, I would lean towards Norvell not being here if that was the case. But the hope is that he wins out the rest of his games. But in the last 3 games, what makes you think that?
The only thing that I could say is that Stanford is awful, Wake Forest is awful, and a bye week is about as bad as Wake Forest and Stanford. So,
and that's in between the two. It's not before at Clemson.
Yeah.
So you don't have 2 weeks for Clemson.
I'll tell you this, as far as the schedule is concerned, you'll get the 2 wins, Stanford and Wake Forest. You should. Now you might go there and could have a really bad turn of events, because I know that Gus talked about Tommy was hurt. And, we didn't.
But his numbers look good.
But we didn't really discuss that. You were there, so does he look slower? Does he look slower and not as agile? Does he look like he babies that thing a little bit, or what?
Yeah, so I actually wrote an article on Shop Chat probably about an hour ago or so, kind of observing like some of the games that I've seen, especially against Pitt. You look at it as Tommy Castellanos did in that second half where they tried to establish the run. Pitt's run defense is top 5 in the country in terms of rushing yards allowed. It plays 64 rushing yards per game. And Florida State ran for about 130. Well, the problem is Tommy had 8 carries for 12 yards in that game. He literally, every time it could have been a quarterback keeper, he gave it to Gavin Sawchuk or Usman Kroma. That's not an ideal football team, and Tommy's not going to beat you with his arm just simply throwing. He had pretty good stats. I mean, he had 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He had over 200 yards and had over, I think it was like 18 or 19 pass completions. that's great and all, but Tommy is what he does with his legs is incredible. You know, you saw against Alabama the 75 rushing yards that were actually able to keep Alabama on their toes, even against those other teams as well, was keeping Florida State in it, and that's what makes him so great. And if you're eliminating that from the game with his ankle problem that he had against Kent State, I still think it's a problem. I think it's a very big problem that Florida State's going to have to face. Obviously, the offense is not the problem here per se. The defense is always going to be the talking point until they were able to stop somebody with a nosebleed. But at the same time, you've got to be able to run with Thomas Castellanos, and I really don't know if you can be able to do that right now. And it doesn't seem like he has any confidence in doing that, or the coaching staff.
Yeah, and that's the key. You know, we talk about it here on this show a lot, that your quarterback can't be your leading rusher unless they're the type of quarterback that Tommy Castellanos is. Unless you're the Lamar Jackson, you've got to be able to have that option. And when he does not have the rushing ability because of his ankle, or because he doesn't want to, or because he's nursing that injury, his game is one-dimensional, and he's not a passer. He's not. He's a quarterback that can run and throw, and that's where he is the best at it. And so when you look at it, when you don't have him doing what he does best, you know, that's like saying, okay, Tom Brady, I'm going to take your arm and give you shoulder problems right now, and I'm going to make you run to beat us. Well, you know how that's going to end. And that's the same type of deal. And I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, that, yeah. But it also kind of plays into the whole Jalen Hurts back when he was at Alabama deal. There were a lot of times that there was so much pressure put on this defense, and everybody talking about, we can't stop anybody. We can't do this. We can't do this. We can't do this. Yeah, but if you go in there and have 2, 3, 4, 5 3-and-outs, and you put the pressure on the defense of always stopping, and you got all these plays that we're playing against, we are going to get tired. Our depth's not going to always be there. We're going to miss somebody. We're going to miss a tackle. We're going to miss somebody in space. Fatigue sets in. The game gets long. And before you know it, we're tired. And we're out here trying to stop them. And we can't stop them. And then that's how you let a 3-star freshman, 18-year-old quarterback that's only played in 3 ball games his whole college career beat you and look decent.
And he was the leading rusher at Pitt. He
Right.
had 16 carries, the Pitt quarterback, Mason.
Right.
I mean,
and that lets you know that this Florida State defense was tired because they couldn't tackle him, because he wasn't blazing speed. He's a big kid, 6'2", about 215. But, I mean, he's blazing. He's not a blazer. He's not going to wow you with his speed.
This is the worst I've ever seen Florida State play this whole year. Hands down. I mean, the Virginia game, they had life, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it was different.
Yeah.
There was a fighting chance.
There was a fighting chance.
It seemed like there was no fight in this dog.
Pitt did not look impressive to me.
No.
They did not look good.
You know, I just wonder, though, in that game, because Florida State was up 21-14 in the second quarter. You end up having the ball. You're driving down the field. Keziah Holmes is their third-string running back. They decided to play the veteran a little bit more in this game. And he rushes to midfield, fumbles it. Pitt gets the ball at midfield, touchdown Pittsburgh, 21-21, and you got yourself a ball game. So instead of trying to drive down the field, get some points, make it 24-14 or even 28-14, and shut this deal down, having a true freshman quarterback down 2 possessions on the road, you end up keeping them in the game, and next thing you know, that turns into a bigger problem than anything, because Florida State in the second half only had that touchdown late to bring it within 3 points, and then next thing you know, Pitt scores and makes it 10, and then, you know, they're having to find the battle and everything there. But it's just a weird circumstance because Florida State's offense went so stagnant in the second half. But, I mean, the realistic thing is, like Paul was saying, you cannot have 3-and-outs because your defense is going to get so tired.
Yep, and that's so true. But when we come back, we're going to discuss more about this Florida State team and see if we can come up with some way to get them some wins. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Red 70s studio line is now open. 850-215-6290. Your home for the NFL. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This Sunday, it's an NFL triple header. First, the 4-1 Jacksonville Jaguars host the 3-2 Seattle Seahawks. Coverage from Everbank Stadium starts at 11, kickoff at noon. Then, Sunday Night Football with the 4-1 Detroit Lions at the 2-3 Kansas City Chiefs. Coverage starts at 6:30 right here on your home for the NFL on the Gulf Coast. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Strap in, Duval. The Jaguars are gearing up to face the Los Angeles Chargers Sunday, November 16th for our annual Salute to Service game. Join us as we honor and celebrate the brave men and women of our military all game long. Secure your seats now and be a part of the action by visiting jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. Let's stand together, Duval.
Got a scratch, dent, or full-blown wreck? Bring it to Recommended Collision Center in Panama City. From small scratches to all-over paint jobs, from fender benders to major collisions, it's Recommended Collision Center. They work with all insurance companies and offer customer pay options too. A family-owned collision center that takes pride in top-quality repairs, friendly service, quick drop-offs, and a fast turnaround. So when life throws you a wreck, they'll help you get amended. Recommended Collision Center, 1329 Jinx Avenue, Panama City.
Your home for the NFL. ESPN Northwest Florida.
On the next Thursday Night Football, Aaron Rodgers and the 4-1 Steelers are at the 2-4 Cincinnati Bengals.
Rodgers on the move, directing traffic, throws! Touchdown!
Thursday Night Football coverage starts at 6:30 from Paycor Stadium. Kickoff at 7:15 on your home for the NFL on the Gulf Coast. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Now, we're live and local inside the CBC Construction Studios. Your favorite team is garbage.
Dallas? I don't want you going to Dallas at all.
And we're here to explain why.
That place is crawling with crackheads and debutantes, and half of them play for the Cowboys.
It's time to take out the trash on the Sports Blitz on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, you can always call in. Maybe Jeff's saying something you don't like. Maybe Taylor's saying something you don't like. 850-215-6290. Don't forget, we are your home for the Thursday Night Football game. We got the Steelers and the Bengals. Coverage starts at 6:30. Kickoffs at 7:15 right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Also, don't forget, listen, Louisville at Miami on Friday, October the 17th. Airtime begins at 5 o'clock. Kickoff is at 6 p.m. right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. You know, we are talking with Taylor Devers of Chop Chat, Norvale Central. Taylor, we've got to talk about the schedule because this is going to be a crucial run that the Seminoles have, because you've got, like we've talked about, you got Stanford, and then you got the bye week, and then you got Wake Forest, and then you've got...
And Wake's at home, so you got to win at home.
And then you've got North Carolina State.
No.
Is it Virginia Tech?
At Clemson.
Okay, at Clemson.
Yeah.
Then you've got North Carolina State.
Yeah, NC State.
And then you've got...
The NC State's another home game. I'm not saying it's another must-win.
I thought that was at North Carolina State.
Oh, I'm sorry. Virginia Tech's at home.
Virginia Tech's at home.
Then at NC State, and then at the Gators.
Florida, yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking when you look at that schedule, Taylor?
As Stanford, they're one of the worst teams in the ACC.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to get that done. On a bye week, Wake Forest, I know Robbie Ashford has been a quarterback that's been around for quite a bit. I understand they're not completely in the garbage can right now at this point. I think they're, 4-2 at this point. You definitely have to win that game as well at home. You're in front of your home crowd. You cannot disappoint your home crowd once again. I mean, that is, like, unexcusable. You know, the Miami game and the Pittsburgh game at home, like, fans were really, really disappointed. You're seeing fans leave in the fourth quarter, and you don't need that to happen against a Wake Forest. So, obviously, you're going to turn around. You play at Clemson. You've only beaten that team once in the last 10 years.
Oh, no. Huh? Is that real?
So, I'm talking about on the road. I'm in.
Oh, okay. Okay, I was about to say.
But now, granted, they've only beat Clemson, twice?
Yeah, two or three times in the last 10 years because it's been Clemson's decade.
Because, 2013 and also 2023 and, and 2014 as well, I guess, because the whole Jameis.
Yeah, that's more than a decade ago. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's bad.
I know.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So let that sink in a little bit. Yeah, Clemson on the road is not a difficult challenge to some people like Syracuse, but it is a difficult experience for Florida State as of late. So we'll definitely have to see what that is. I'm not saying Cade Klubnik is a tremendous quarterback, but we've seen Florida State allow some quarterbacks to get some favorable yardages, and it's not been a great thing for Florida State's defense to go against even a quarterback with a pulse.
Yeah, you're right. Well, we're going to go to the Red 17's phone line. Sean from Panama City. Are you with us, Sean?
Yes, sir.
What's going on, Sean?
Another day in paradise.
That's exactly right. It's beautiful here.
Yes, sir. I was just surprised. I didn't think I could call in while you had somebody on our call in.
Yeah, no, we're multi-faceted here at ESPN Northwest Florida. Go ahead, Sean.
You guys have upped your game.
That's right. We got it going on right now.
No, I was just. I know you got what's his name, Taylor
Devers. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, talking. FSU football. And I like I said, I didn't expect to be able to get through while he was on, but no, he's he covers FSU. I've been a FSU fan since the late '70s, so that dates me a little bit. No, usually when I say something like that, and lately I've been getting a bless your heart, or something like that. So, but I was expecting that. But anyways. I've been following them, like I said, forever. I'm a FSU fan at heart. I'm not one of these that bleeds, like I've said before. I don't bleed garnet and gold, or I don't see. I mean, I do, but I don't see things through a garnet and gold glasses,
right.
Like that kind of thing. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
But I called it, and when I looked at their schedule, we were 2-10 last year.
Yep.
I looked at their schedule before the season started. We had like 50-something transfers in. Most of them are 3-star at best. They're guys that that didn't do what they needed to do at where they were at. Obviously, they didn't fall in the favor of the coach. If they're position coaches, or they fell. They were down on the depth chart and stuff like that, and they enter the portal. Well, we did this 2 years in a row. We've had to do that. Overhaul almost half of our roster was new players. So it's hard to evaluate, what they're bringing in, but just looking at, we're not getting, the 5-stars that, the top tier teams are getting out of the high school ranks. We don't have the NIL funds, I don't think, to bring those guys in. And, I don't think FSU's pockets or, their war chest is as deep as a lot of schools are, Mm-hmm. And so we're, anyways, I looked at that schedule and I said, 6-6. And, one of my coworkers who's, lives in Tallahassee, he goes, what are you talking about? I'm crazy. You're crazy. He was thinking, a lot more. He was a lot more optimistic. After we beat Alabama, I thought, okay, well, that was a complete surprise, obviously. I thought, well, okay, maybe 7-5. The Pitt loss was unexpected.
Yeah.
And I did, expect us to lose on the road to Virginia. He can, I don't know if Taylor's still on, but he can attest to that every time that we had, you can probably go back and look in our schedules. I can't do it right now or anything, but every time we get set up with a Friday night game against an ACC opponent, it's been on the road.
Yeah.
And they're snake pits. They're jacked up. It's pretty much a standalone game. The crowds are, foaming at the mouth to beat us. Look what Virginia did. They stormed the field, with their whole student body. And I'm actually predicting we're not going to beat NC State because they're pretty good. I could be wrong, but I think they've only got one loss, maybe 2.
Yep.
So I know he's, people are thinking, I heard he was saying 7-5, only looking at the Florida and what was the other Clemson game as potential losses. No, I'm thinking that. And, so then I'm home, keeping my fingers crossed that we can beat Stanford, Wake Forest, and Virginia Tech,
I agree with you. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, I'm looking at 6-6 because I don't think we're going to win on that Friday night in a game at NC State. We played them there before on Friday nights and got them beat. And they'll be jacked up. Like I said, these teams are looking at us now as like there's blood in the water.
Yes.
Just like last year. We got to get them. They're down. This is our opportunity to get them. These borderline teams, And all I can say is thank God we're not playing Georgia Tech, that we're not playing Louisville, and they were not playing Notre Dame, this year, or it'd be another 2-10 season. But that's just my take on it,
Yeah, well, Sean, we appreciate that.
You know what, Sean? I like you. You know why? Because you're old enough to know that you live in paradise, for starters.
He likes you because you are the same age bracket. That's what it is.
No, it's not just that. That he has a maturity. Because let me tell you, I have 2 Seminole friends, and they're in their 30s. And I won't mention their names. And they bleed garnet and gold. And they are so upset right now. They're so upset. It's like their life just fell apart with 3 losses. And I know one of them definitely was toxic before when they were 3-0, and they were just celebrating every Gators loss that they could get their hands on. And then when they were talking so positively that 2-10 never even happened last year, they were all looking back 2 years ago, and they believed in this team. And then now, I'm telling you, we need to pray for these guys.
Yeah, I never believed in them. I hoped for the best, but expected mediocrity. And that's what we've got again. And, but when you look at it, okay, this is the way I look at it. Okay, we were 2-10 last year. If we finish 6-6, losing to Florida, Clemson, and NC State, those are just games I'm predicting that we're going to lose. We'll finish, if we can beat those other 3 patsies, we'll finish 6-6. Okay, but compared to 2-10, hey, that actually is good. We might make some toilet bowl. We'll make the Birmingham Bowl, or maybe if they still have that crappy bowl in Montgomery, maybe we can make that game, that bowl game. But do they still have that one in Montgomery? They played at the Crampton Bowl.
The Crampton Bowl, I think so. I think they still have that one, but I'm not.
Yeah,
it's sponsored by somebody we don't even know. Really?
Yeah, 6-6 that will get you a bowl game, and that's baby steps. I mean, and that's what you got to look at. That's an improvement over 2-10. Now next year he was just reading off the schedule. I hadn't looked that far, and that doesn't sound good hearing the stuff that we have on the schedule next year.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Well, we appreciate the call, Sean. We got to take our next break, and when we come back, we are going to talk about whether Norvell keeps his job. You're listening to the Sports Blitz at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Call or text us now on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is your home for the NFL.
Touchdown, Denver!
We bring you the biggest games every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night.
Oh, he's got the first down!
Plus, we'll broadcast more college football games than ever before.
He did what?
Live NFL and college football play here.
Unbelievable!
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Tuesday's weather forecast. Sunny the remainder of the day with temps near 84 and a wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear skies tonight, a light breeze out of the northeast and a temperature of 67. About the same tomorrow, around 85 with sunshine and a wind at 7 miles per hour out of the east-northeast. Sunny Thursday and quite warm around 82. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Keep the adventure going this holiday season in a new Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Bill Bird Kia now offering 0% APR for up to 48 months, plus a $500 APR bonus on the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sorento during the big fall savings event going on now. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. It's the best family SUV with third-row seating space, providing extra comfort for the entire family. Bill Bird Kia, the home of that 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435
125 East 15th Street, or anytime at BillowbirdKiaPanamaCity.com.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia S and LX models. $20.83 per month per 1,000 financed in 48 months. Quantities limited. $500 APR bonus is applied as down payment, and no cash value cannot be combined with other finance offers. Not available on balloon financing. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Billowbird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers must take delivery from dealer stock through 11/3/25.
WVLQ Point St. Joe, WGSX, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Christ, you're back on the program. Why are we calling it permission to party?
Certain times you get a permission to party, and it's always when the person that doesn't drink says, I don't know, do you want to do a specialty cocktail tonight? And you're like, I just got permission to party. That energy is the reason I party. And the reason I'll never stop partying. We turned on the hot tub last night, and Leanne goes, should we open a bottle of rosé? And I go, oh, we're getting lit tonight. Like, that energy is what I'm looking forward to.
Rich Eisen weekdays starting at 11, now on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Broadcasting from the CBC Construction Studios. And now the Gulf Coast's newest sports talk host, Paul Wilson.
Fresh new start.
Locally sourced, farm to radio. The Sports Blitz.
We're starting fresh.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. This is the 5 o'clock hour. You are tuned in. You're excited because you're off work. We're excited because you're off work. So there you go. Here we are. Don't forget to call in, text in 850-215-6290 on the Red 7Ts phone line. We're talking with Taylor Devers here, like we always do on Tuesday, Chop Chat, Norvell Central. Taylor, that was the call before the break. That was a call that I really feel like you're one of two fans. You're either the realistic fan, which Sean was from Panama City. By the way, thanks for calling in, Sean. That was a great concept of what you're saying about Florida State. But then you also have the people that, you know, are like what Jeff's talking about, that are just in a bad situation right now. And, I mean, when you have a program like Florida State, that's the type of passion you're going to have. You're either going to have one way or you're going to have the other. And the majority, I'm going to say it, is probably like Alabama fans. When it's a bad year, you go outside and you kick your dog. I mean, you know, it's that bad. Wouldn't you agree with that? Taylor, are you there? I don't know if we lost him or... Taylor, you still with us?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
Okay, all right, perfect. All right, I was saying that I had an Alabama fan, one of my friends actually go with me to the season opener game. And he told me after the game, which was kind of concerning to me, but was like, DeBoer might get fired. That might be a fireable offense. And I was like, all right, man, don't jump over the ledge. You know, y'all are still a good team. It's okay. It's not really that big of a deal. I think y'all will still be fine, maybe even contend for the SEC still. But there are fans out there like that. So you have to kind of temper your expectations, but also understanding that the program standard is the standard. This is Florida State. You compete to win national championships. This is not a program, as you've seen over the last couple of years, that it's supposed to be. Norvell is 36-30 in his 6 years at Florida State. That's not impressive. And on top of it, you fired Willie Taggart after a year and a half. I'm not getting into the Taggart-Norvell debate, but I am also thinking you gave Norvell an extension after the 2023 season. The snub, Alabama was trying to approach him and trying to be able to hire him as a head coach. You were able to kind of get the resources up to do that. You had renovations to the stadium, football-only facility. I understand why fans are upset because that is a lot of resources spent to this program. You look at Florida State's basketball program, the resources are not spent the same. Florida State's basketball program is one of the more poorer schools in the ACC in terms of giving resources back to that program, and you put it all into football, and this is the result that you get. It's just kind of disappointing. I think Florida State definitely has to make a change, not necessarily saying head coach, but there has to be a change in place to get it back to where it needs to be.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to read a little bit from Facebook. Neil Rivers said, Jeff, it's called being a passionate fan. And you know what? I responded with exactly right. And he said, someone has to be held accountable for the failures on the field. Also got a text message that said that I'm a Bama fan, but these delusional FSU fans believing that they are better than what they are, and that's the realistic.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's 4 or 5 national championships. I think it was like, once in the 80s, twice in the 90s, and then, 2013 was Jameis Winston year. And then what happened 2 years ago, that electrified that whole fan base and made them come up and people be more interested in this program. And that's the whole only flash. It's not like Bama, whereas year after year after year, you have success. Well, but that 1 year, 2 years ago has really kind of put these people in a mind frame that we can do 12-0 or 13-0 again.
But don't get sidelined, because there are a lot of, you got to understand something. Yes, we dictate national championships by or teams by national championships. Yes. But you got to understand the rules have changed. Now, this is something that everybody needs to understand. When you're talking about Nick Saban, and this is going to cut me, okay? This is going to cut us Alabama fans pretty deep. Because if you look at Alabama's schedules over the tenure of Saban's championships, all of those championships, not every one of those championships would have been a championship had it been into the old school way of doing the BCS lineup that it was whenever we got the championships. Because if you don't remember, we lost to Cam Newton. We were undefeated, and we played Cam Newton in the Iron Bowl. We were undefeated. The Auburn Tigers were undefeated. We played. He threw a touchdown with like 3 seconds to go, right? So then they get to move on and go and play for the national championship and eventually win it.
And y'all might have been the 4th-ranked team and got into a playoffs with a four-team playoff that year.
There would have been no doubt we would have done it, because at the time, we were 1, they were 2, or they were 1,
and
we were 2.
Oregon was undefeated that year. So they were number 2 for sure.
And then the number 4, well, we both were. We still were. It was a.
Yeah, but y'all would have fell behind Oregon, obviously.
Correct.
Yeah. In 2014? No, 13. When Florida State beat Auburn, that was the kick 6 year. Auburn had 1 loss that year.
Right.
Alabama again could have slipped into a 14 playoff.
If it would have been the regular.
I'm not saying you would have had. There's a chance that you could have won that year.
Right.
I don't think 2010 you would have got through Oregon and then Auburn back to back. In 2010.
See, I think we'd have beat Oregon with no problem just because of the way we played defense. Yeah. I think it would have been hard for Cam to beat us
have
twice.
A revenge game against Auburn in the national title game, which is crazy to have an Alabama-Auburn finale, because no state even does that.
Right. So what I'm going to with that is the fact that Florida State, we can't just measure it by national championships, because there was always those games that they lost that it spun them out of the opportunity.
Yeah.
And then you had those Nebraska teams, then you had those Miami teams and all of that. And they're 1 field goal away a bunch of times, whether it was wide right or wide left with Bobby Bowden. So you can't think it. Now, don't you agree with that, right, Taylor?
Yeah, especially if Bobby Bowden had a playoff.
Right.
There would be a lot more national championship opportunities there.
Right. There would be so many more. So the game has changed.
Like top 5, like unbelievable.
Almost all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. Because, so we can't always say it's the national titles because of the way the rules are set up. Now, the secondary part to this answer to me is the fact that they are just like the Florida Gators. This is Florida State stinking University. You're getting paid $58 million to coach a football team that they built you a new stadium. They pay your players all this money.
Stadium.
You know what I'm saying. They spent all of this money renovating this stadium.
They spent money.
And you're going to tell me that this is the product you're going to put on the field? Absolutely not. This Florida State Seminole team, this Florida State Seminole community, this Florida State Seminole College is a brand of football. And when you don't have a coach that is doing what is not you're expected to compete, not just for ACC championships, but national championships. And this guy is not doing either. So, no.
Can I expand on that a little bit more? Because I know you had talked about a coach that had gotten renovations to the stadium, football-only facility. He's getting paid millions and millions and millions of dollars. Jimbo Fisher right now is rolling right now.
Yes.
And he is wanting that opportunity at Florida State. He demanded that opportunity at Florida State, got shut down for that opportunity, and said, you know what? This SEC money over here at Texas A&M looks really, really nice. They're able to give me whatever I want. Now, obviously, he had a number one recruiting class and didn't do anything with it. The era didn't do really well at Texas A&M. It is a harder conference. But if they were able to get him what he wanted at Florida State, just imagine what that possibility could be, considering his recruiting prowess in South Florida. Now, I'm not advocating for Jimbo Fisher to come back as a head coach. Please don't twist that and turn that around, because I see so many fans talking about how Jimbo Fisher should be back. Jimbo Fisher should not be a head coach at Florida State, regardless of what his recruiting regiment was, because his offenses were terrible. They did not, they were not adequate for college football. He didn't change with the times. Even the great Nick Saban changed his offense up to better suit college football and his team's success, and you saw what happened. Now, obviously, the whole Mike Norvell thing, building onto the standard, he hasn't built that standard. We've talked about that. We know that. Now it's his time to shine. It's no longer a bounce back. It's no longer a prove it. It's no longer everybody's going to be looking at you. It is Florida State. You have to succeed at Florida State. Florida State is a top 15 program all time, even in their short history since only being there since 1947. You have to be able to fold and hit the standard, and the standard has not been reached so far.
This is the key. You've got all of these fans wanting to win. You've got all of these donors wanting to win. You've got all of these alumni wanting to win, and you're not putting a good product on the field. If you go 7-5 this year, which, as we started to look at the schedule, if you look at what they have going to Stanford, I know we've already counted that as a win, but we were notified over the break that this game is at 9:30 p.m.
Central. So that's 10:30 Eastern, where the school is located.
Which is Tallahassee. So you're telling me those guys are going to be playing football, kickoffs at 10:35, their regular time. So this is not a guarantee for the Florida State Seminoles. So you know what?
I better hope it is at Stanford.
I don't care if it's Little Sisters of the Poor. You're asking me to play when I'm normally asleep.
Do you know what a donor did last week?
Tell us.
$50 million a former football player gave to Stanford for their football program only. It isn't tied to athletic department, a building, the school's academics, or anything like that. It's only for the football program. And you got Andrew Luck trying to turn everything around over there, being the game manager for the football team. And let's be honest, they have academic standards.
Yeah, but they're starting in the right direction, making all these teams that from the East Coast come play at night on the West Coast.
Oh, yeah, they got an advantage.
And then
how the heck did that even happen?
That's not right.
Come on.
That's not right.
No, it's not right at all.
But, Taylor, when you look at this team, you've got to know exactly what we've been talking about. The grabbing the portal by the horns and going full force with the portal, it just doesn't seem like that's the way to go. Yes, add your, stars here and there. Pay them the big money. But looks like by the way everybody else is doing it that's being successful in this era that we're working right now is to get the 5 stars and develop them, is to get the 5 stars and get them going. Because if you don't, this is what you're going to find out. And it's exactly like the last caller was talking about. You get these guys that were 3 and 4 stars that did okay and had some time that they got to play, and they played at Alabama and they played at Tennessee and they played at these different places, but they never were the stars or the feature person. And before you know it, now you're going to have all these trouble, and now you got these losses, and it doesn't look good as far as the recruiting goes.
Yeah, the 2025 class has been really, really impressive with a lot of guys that are there. The problem is they're true freshmen.
Yeah.
The depth is all over the place. It's just true freshmen and transfers. Like the 24 class, there's a couple of guys here and there, but, I mean, some of those guys were a flop at this point. We'll see how the rest of their career goes. 23 class, half of the class is already gone. The 22 class is even worse. It's just a lot of guys, especially on the trenches, the offensive line and defensive line. Florida State's going to be losing 7 offensive linemen next year that have meaningful snaps this year.
Wow.
7. I mean, that is brutal. And I know Herb Hand is trying to get as many talented transfers as he can so he can be able to recruit on the offensive line, and hopefully some of those younger guys that are maybe redshirt freshmen, redshirt sophomores can come in. But as you saw with Alex Atkins, who was formerly here, he's a tight ends coach over at LSU now, he did not recruit the position very well because when he did recruit talented prospects, he never played them. He never wanted to play them. He always said, well, those guys may not be ready yet. Well, these guys are redshirt sophomore and redshirt juniors. When are they going to be ready if they're not ready already?
And that's when you exactly. I'm just going to say it, and I know I might make some Florida State fans mad, but with James Franklin being gone, with UCLA's job being open, I know that that's not, apples to apples. With Oklahoma State's job being open, Virginia Tech's job's open, a lot of these jobs are coming open, and a lot of these coaches are going to start filling these spots. And I'm just going to tell you, he's been there for 6 years. He had the one season. Let's just be honest. He's had the one season that was up to the standard of what Florida State football fans and alumni have expected and wanted for the amount of money. And the thing is, they paid him the money. They got the stuff there. They're giving him the money to grab these NIL transfers. They're giving him, all the stuff, all the bells and whistles, and it's just not happening on the field. And I'm not so sure if he's the guy moving forward. I know $58 million is a lot of money, and I get it. But what do you want? Do you want to keep having these excuses? Do you want to keep having these mediocre seasons? Or do you want to get you a football coach that can bring life back into the program? Yes, the start of the season, bringing Gus in, you beat Alabama. Oh, yeah, this is it. We're cooking with grease now. But now the grease is gone. There is no grease. And the fact of the matter is, I'm leaning more to the caller's idea that it's probably going to be a 6-6 season, way more likely than it'll be a 7-5. But who wants 7-5 when you're paying him 10-2, 11-1 kind of money? And that's where I think Florida State is going to step up to the plate and do something, because if they don't, they're going to find themselves in this situation next year and the year after that and the year after that until they just get tired of losing and being mediocre.
And it's not the hottest seat because, like, a place like Penn State and Happy Valley, that seat gets super hot and kind of quick, even though this guy's gotten a lot of chances, Franklin. But Mississippi State, they'll tolerate losing.
Yeah.
Because they don't have that expectation.
It's not a brand. It's not a standard. Yeah. It's not.
So Florida State's in between those two. They're more towards Penn State than they are Mississippi State. But, I mean, how long are you going to tolerate averageness?
Florida State job is better than Ole Miss job.
Yes. Ole Miss is in the 20 to 25 range. Florida State is probably around 12 to 15, if you ask me.
But if you throw a name at Florida State, if you put somebody in there that has name credibility, if you have a big-time coach,
we're running out of names.
But what I'm saying,
I mean, are you talking James Franklin or are you talking John Gruden?
Yeah, I mean, bring Gruden.
I mean, because I don't see any other names, A lot of these other people, I don't want to say they're rejects, but the LSU guys, Les Miles, gone. Coach O, nah. I don't know.
Dan Mullen's undefeated.
Yeah, at UNLV, but he's going to lose this week to Boise State probably.
Oh, well. Yeah. But I'm just saying.
He ain't playing nobody.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, Taylor, where are you at? You cover him. You've seen him. Heck, your name has his name in it. Where are you at with it, my friend?
I am a little disappointed because the thing is, too, Norvell talks about all the time, about responding to adversity. You have been faced with adversity your whole entire Florida State career at this point. Even during the 2023 season. The 22 season, you had 10 wins. You started 4-0. You had a tremendous season-opening win against LSU. It looks awfully familiar to 2025. You turn on, you go 4-0. You have 3 straight losses to Wake Forest, NC State, and then you Clemson. And then you go on a 6-game winning streak to go 10-3. The fans, after that 3-game losing streak, were basically in the same spot they're at now. You have not changed philosophies in terms of that. It's always about responding in adversity. You're trying to say and trying to sell to the fans that you understand that the standard is the standard, but do you really understand? And I don't think that's the thing that a lot of people are grasping with this situation. It seems like rinse, cycle, and repeat after all with this whole situation. And I just don't know if he goes 7-5, how it's going to last, because the guy that's sitting in the chairbacks for the renovations, guys, those seats are $25,000 a piece for a season. Those fans are not going to want to sit in those high-caliber seats. No. And that Bowden Society member that are paying $50,000 a year are going to be able to tolerate this any longer. And it looks like, and I love Mike Norvell. He's a great guy, great competitor. He wants Florida State to be successful. He talks about it all the time. He's one of Florida State's biggest fans. It's great to be a fan and all, but you have to win ball games at Florida State.
You've got all of these coaches available. Will Stein, Oregon offensive coordinator. Alex Golish, USF head football coach. Ryan Silverfield, Memphis head football coach. Shannon Dawson, offensive coordinator, Miami. Blake Baker, LSU defensive coordinator. You've got all of these guys that you probably could save money and go in and get and bring them to Florida State. They know how to recruit because you've seen them recruit at their mid-major schools. You see what they're doing with their teams that they currently have right now. You bring in a new coach. You bring in fresh fire. You bring in somebody that can get the program excited again and not excited just about bringing other players from other schools that were 3 stars or 4 stars that got to play at Alabama, Tennessee, or Georgia. And that's where you look at it, and you've got to bring in somebody new. And you can't. This is a track meet because you got Penn State actively looking right now. I mean, they're getting Matt Rule. I mean, and that's the deal. I mean, who can you offer? Because Florida State, whether Jeff agrees with me or not, is a top 10 job in the country. It is a top 10 job in the country. And when we come back, we'll discuss more about this, but I've got to show Jeff that he's wrong. You're listening to the Sports Blitz at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Reach out and smack someone. Call or text now. 850-215-6290. The Red 7T Studio Line. Your home for the NFL. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This Sunday, it's an NFL triple header. First, the 4-1 Jacksonville Jaguars host the 3-2 Seattle Seahawks. Coverage from Everbank Stadium starts at 11, kickoff at noon. Then, Sunday Night Football with the 4-1 Detroit Lions at the 2-3 Kansas City Chiefs. Coverage starts at 6:30 right here on your home for the NFL on the Gulf Coast. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Tuesday's weather. Tonight there will be a light breeze out of the northeast, clear skies and 66. Sunshine tomorrow morning, about the same at 81, and wind at 9 miles per hour out of the east-northeast. In the afternoon and evening, sunny and a gentle breeze right around 8 miles per hour with a high of 85. About the same at 84 Thursday, and we'll have sunshine. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Golf is a game that should be fun, but to have the most fun, you need to play your best. That's where the experts at Golf Plus come in. Their friendly staff will guide you through the buying process, answer all your questions, and can help with any repairs you need along the way. Golf Plus is your custom fitting, club repair, and golf retail shop. Golf Plus staff is non-commissioned and will work with you to find the best product for your game, just like they've been doing since 1988. Golf Plus in Panama City Beach. Fitting, repair, retail. That's Golf Plus.
Are you looking to invest in rare coins and precious metals? Well, look no further. Coin & Bullion Reserves is Bay County's trusted source for rare coins and precious metals. Located in the heart of Panama City, our showroom is stocked with a vast selection of gold and silver bullion, rare coins, and currency. Whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned collector, we have what you're looking for. Our sales staff has over 50 years of experience to help guide you through your purchase. Come and visit Coin and Bullion Reserves today and build your collection with confidence.
Your home for the NFL. ESPN Northwest Florida.
On the next Thursday Night Football, Aaron Rodgers and the 4-1 Steelers are at the 2-4 Cincinnati Bengals.
Rodgers on the move, directing traffic, throws, touchdown!
Thursday Night Football coverage starts at 6:30 from Paycor Stadium. Kickoff at 7:15 on your home for the NFL on the Gulf Coast. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Transmitting from the CBC Construction Studio. This is the Sports Blitz, where we don't have guests. We have punching bags. The Sports Blitz on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. You're listening to the undisputed, opinionated show on the Gulf Coast. Don't forget, you can call in, you can text in at 850-215-6290. We're talking with Taylor Devers from Chop Chat, Norvell Central. When you look at everything that is going on right now, Taylor, you've got to say that there is a little bit of a panic mode. It had to catapult the fans. It had to catapult the administration when James Franklin was fired, because it was abrupt. Everybody wasn't really expecting it. Everybody is into the idea that, you hold on to you hold on to those coaches, especially those guys that have done good but not great. And now seeing Penn State being like, we don't want mediocre, we want to win the big games. And that's what they said. And so with that, they got rid of their coach. Florida State fans have to be somewhere close to that, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, because look at it. Franklin is 104-45 in his 12 years at Penn State. He hasn't won the big game, really. He's like 1-10 against Ohio State. The rest of the Big Ten, he's been serviceable, but Ohio State's kind of been that bar they needed to go over. I'm not necessarily saying the loss that they had against Oregon was the bridge over the top, because I think it's been festering for quite some time. Biggest thing is, though, too, it was surprising because he just come off a playoff appearance last year. That offense was really horrendous at times with Drew Aller. Obviously, he's got the season-ending injury now, and Franklin's out of there, but it's always been their kryptonite to not win the big game. And Mike Norvell's won a couple of big games. You've seen the 2 LSU wins. You've seen the Alabama win. You've seen Miami. You've seen Florida a couple of times as well, and you've even seen Clemson. Problem is, he can't do it on a consistent basis where you're winning double-digit games every year. Imagine if James Franklin went to Florida State and competed in the ACC, because the ACC is much like the Big Ten. There's a couple of top-heavy teams like your Clemson and your Miami, but you also have your lower-level Wake Forest, stuff like that, even a Purdue if you want to go Big Ten side of things. James Franklin can win at Florida State and can be consistent at Florida State. And I've even seen people even talk about, James Franklin could be the next Florida State head coach because he brings consistency. That's right, but he cannot win the big game, so how are you expecting him to come in there and compete at a playoff level? It's very concerning, because you're looking at everything else in college football nowadays. If Mike Norvell is 36-30 at Florida State, and you're saying that is not mediocrity compared to a 104-45 record over at James Franklin, that's concerning.
And that's the key. When you look at the fan base and you look at what they believed in what they had, they were putting players in the NFL that are being stars. Micah Parsons come from that program. He's a star. Abdul Carter come from that program. He's probably going to be a star. Michael Porter Jr., he plays for the Steelers. He's a star. I mean, they were putting players in the NFL. They were playing the big games. They like you said, they didn't get over the Ohio State. They didn't get over the Michigan hump. But they were in all of those games. Death Valley was electric. It was the whiteouts all the time. Everybody knows it is one of the toughest places to play in the country, and it brought excitement. No, they didn't win it all. They went to the playoff, didn't win it all. But you're exactly right. And that, to me, Florida State, I know, and Jeff looks at me like I'm crazy at times about stuff, but I'm telling you, Florida State job is a top 10 job in the country. And with it being in the top 10 in the country, because of its storied past, because of its past of all of the legend of Bobby Bowden that came through there and all of those tough games that they played against Miami and the history behind the Florida State program, that is a top-tier job. They've got money to spend. They can get this guy out of there. They can find them a new direction. They can find them somebody else. Or if they want to take the Arkansas route and they want to put – and this is what I said from the beginning now. I will go back to what I said in the beginning of the when we first started the show. It was the first week of college football before the first full week of college football. I said that I could see them getting rid of Mike Norvell and putting Gus Malzahn as the interim head coach. Maybe they want to do that. But I'm just saying the mediocrity of this Florida State football with this particular coach, they've given him 6 years. And I'm sorry to say it, in my purview, it's time to go.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. So Florida State's top 10.
Yeah.
Where are the Gators?
Top 10.
No. Nope. Neither one.
Yep.
Neither one. You ready? I'm going to give you a top 10 real quick.
All right.
And you tell me who's bouncing. And I'm sure you will tell me one of them.
Oh, yeah.
But you can't tell me two of them.
Okay.
Ohio State.
No.
Ohio State's not a top 10?
No. I'm saying no, I'm not kicking them out.
Michigan?
They're in there.
Penn State?
I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know why.
The history and the relevance.
Okay. If they're in, Florida State's in.
Okay. USC? Oh, come on. I've only got 2 West Coast teams on this list, and USC and Oregon are the only 2.
Oregon, yes.
Ooh.
USC.
Okay.
So wait, Taylor Devers, would you have another West Coast team in there? No. You wouldn't have Washington.
No.
You would not have Washington.
No,
Washington's not even top 15.
No, and Washington State's not in there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely
UCLA's not in there.
Okay, here we go. Oklahoma. Yes, got to be in. Texas, Longhorns.
They're
come
in.
on. Alabama.
Yep.
Georgia.
Yep.
I already said Oregon. And Tennessee's my number 10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yep.
That puts LSU at number 11.
Okay, this is...
Florida State is not above any of those 11 teams. And I kind of... And look, I'm not saying LSU's a top 10. I'm saying we're number 11. And then I think the Gators and the Seminoles follow right behind LSU.
So let me say this, and when you look at the Penn State reasoning behind your idea, that is Florida State. When you look at Miami, Penn State.
Oh, you know what? I didn't include Miami. That's the funny part.
Yeah.
And look at all the national
You
titles.
took Miami, Florida, and Florida State and did not put them in the top 10 as far as coaching jobs. And let me tell you, as far as I'm concerned, I think the Penn State program is You can't say that Oregon has they're the team. That's a job of a now, but 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Yeah, I'll say
it wasn't.
Before 2010, I'll say. Yeah,
it wasn't.
It wasn't.
So no,
But the relevance is now because Nebraska, 15 years ago, you better believe
20 years
top
ago.
10.
20 years ago.
Oh, no, they were still kind of like
20 years ago.
In the presence is still winning 10 games every year because even Bo Pelini could win 10 games.
You're still living in the 2010s.
No.
This is the 2020s.
And some Iowa crackpot or Wisconsin crackpot will probably jump up in there.
Absolutely
and they're
not.
just not even, that's not even happening.
I'm telling you right now,
I'm telling
Florida
you, Oregon
State,
and Penn State are top 10s.
They're not.
Okay.
Not to me.
So if LSU slips into the top 10, you're putting Florida State number 10 then?
I'm saying Florida State's in there.
And that's above Miami.
And it's above Oklahoma.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think anybody I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you.
Well, when you talk about
when
you talk about flagship schools, Oklahoma is probably the third biggest name that's in that list because Ohio State is number one, and LSU, everything revolves around LSU.
I'm just going to say this, but Alabama would be number one.
Alabama.
Whoa.
Well, Alabama being a flagship school, because Auburn's always kind of lurking.
No. Alabama is the number one school, period.
Because Georgia's almost got that thing going on, too.
Only because of Kirby, what he's done. Because before that, because you're the Mr. Let's do the national championships.
Yeah.
So I mean, Jeff,
Georgia's got two recent, and in 1980,
right?
Or not? It was the 81.
And how many does Oregon have?
Oregon has 0.
Okay, thank you. All right,
true.
Same as their logo.
When's the last time Penn State's won one?
Oh God,
thank you.
90.
Thank you.
Was it 1990?
Thank you.
Might have been.
And then when's the last time Oklahoma's won one?
1999.
Thank you.
I think.
Thank you.
Something like that.
And that
it was 2000. But
It was 2000. Okay. Because Florida State won in 1999.
99.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
But I'm just telling you.
And in Miami, I mean, I don't know, man. Florida State's not.
I disagree.
Top 10.
And let me just tell you this. Before Harbaugh got to Michigan would not have been in that list. Had he not won a national title from cheating, oops, did I say that out loud? If he wouldn't have won a national title, that Michigan job would be off the list as well. So,
can I add to that point real quick?
Yeah.
I think if Florida State would have competed in that playoff game against them, they wouldn't have had an opportunity to get there anyway. But besides the point, because I don't think that offense was any good. So.
Yeah, that's true.
So teams like Clemson and Texas A&M are going to be right behind these three Florida teams.
Yeah, and the thing is like when you look at it, obviously, there's a lot of parameters that we've got to that we would have to discuss to what you would base it off of. But what I'm saying is there's only brand. I don't know, Bone Crusher, do I need to move mics or not? Because it just seems like it keeps cutting in and out. Am I good? So when you look at it, you've got these flagship programs that are built on legendary coaches is where I'm going with. You got your Penn States, you got your Alabamas, you got your Florida States, you got your Nebraskas, you got Ohio State. When you look at those guys are the ones. Oklahoma really wasn't. They were good with Barry Switzer, so they will be added to.
Okay.
Stoops came in and did it as well. Yeah. And when you look at, Texas, you got all of that they've done. But either way, all I'm saying is Florida State is a brand job just like Florida is a brand job. And those guys have the fans, they've got the money, they've got the alumni, and not only do they have those things, but they've got the history of winning football programs and being in big games.
Well, Clemson's run this conference for the last 10 years.
Correct.
And Florida State has not.
And has not. You're 100% correct.
And this is the third best conference in the nation. Almost every year. The ACC has been the third best conference. There's been a couple of years where they were the second best conference, in my opinion, but don't tell the Big Ten that.
Right. And when you look at it, Clemson has ran the conference, and because the SEC has spent the money and became so dominant of a conference and added to the conference, that's really hurt Florida State and these off conferences, and that's really that's been the biggest deal of it all. So when you look at it, that's really the problem. But either way,
the thing
go ahead.
What kills me though too is you had after Bobby Bowden had won the championship in '99, kind of had a weird 10-year decade right there, and then Jimbo took over, dominated for 8 years, and then next thing you know, here comes another 10 years or 8 years of just mediocrity again. Even with those two bad decades, per se, the 20 years in that span, you still have Florida State as a fringe, I think, top 15 program. I'm not necessarily wanting to say top 10 just because I think they are young as a football program, but even a program like Notre Dame that I don't think gets a lot of credit either, even though they really haven't done much in the last couple of years or in the last couple of decades as well, with championships, I still do think that program at Florida State is something special that somebody has to be thrilled about.
And when you look at all of these other jobs, you've got to know that there's a possibility that the Auburn job is about to come open because they could totally go out of crazy, something could really happen there as well. And so you got all of these big time programs and okay, if we're going to just say these things just to agree, Jeff, okay, the top 25, Auburn's in there, Florida State's in there, Florida's in there. So you got all these top 25 programs that are losing their coaches all around the same time. And then just like someone on the Red 7T's phone line, he was talking about how that Bobby Petrino has taken over that job. And there's a possibility that they're just going to roll with him because he's been successful there.
And Malzahn can step up.
And Malzahn can step on and stay at Norvell. And that's the real thing when you think about it.
And a domino effect, because if Matt Rule leaves Nebraska and goes to Penn State, then the Nebraska job's open.
Yeah, and that
not really as lucrative.
It's not
anymore.
as lucrative. Yeah, because nobody, what are you going to play out in the field?
In the corn
in
rows.
the corn. Either way, but that's what you got when you look at these coaching jobs coming available. And Taylor, I'll just be honest with you. I think really that the Florida State fan base, yes, they want to win, and they know that this season's probably over with, but I don't think they're going to be very happy with keeping him at the head coach position.
So listen how fickle these fans can get, because I have LSU fans that are fickle. Because losing 3 games on a row for the Seminoles, they act like the world had ended. And I kind of get it a little bit because I have LSU fans like that. They think, okay, Vanderbilt has never been favored against the top 10 team they've played until this weekend.
Right.
LSU's playing at Vanderbilt. You better believe they have LSU fans that think if they lose at Vanderbilt that they'll want Brian Kelly's head.
Yes. Well, either way, we're going to go ahead and take our next break. And when we come back, we're going to tell you who we're picking this weekend in some of these games. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Call or text in now on the Red 7T's studio line. 850-215-6290. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is your home for the NFL.
Touchdown, Denver!
We bring you the biggest games every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night.
Oh, he's got the first down!
Plus, we'll broadcast more college football games than ever before.
He did what?
Live NFL and college football play here.
Unbelievable!
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Tuesday's weather. Tonight there will be a light breeze out of the northeast, clear skies and 66. Sunshine tomorrow morning, about the same at 81, and wind at 9 miles per hour out of the east-northeast. In the afternoon and evening, sunny and a gentle breeze right around 8 miles per hour with a high of 85. About the same at 84 Thursday, and we'll have sunshine. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Visit the newly remodeled Mid-South Lumber Hardware and Feed Store in Youngstown. They have a full line of plumbing, electrical, hardware, and tools for your DIY home projects, as well as lumber and animal feed. Now offering not only baby chicks and a full line of poultry supplies, but also bunnies and parakeets. They also carry a wide selection of Duplin wines and gourmet products so you don't have to drive to the beach. Come see us at Mid-South Lumber on Highway 231 in Youngstown.
We're proud to bring you the most popular cars in the world, like the stylish Camry and the sporty Corolla. Get award-winning style and 1.99% APR on a new Camry, named Best New Model by Kelly Blue Book. Plus, you get 90 days until you make your first payment. Curb appeal comes standard on the new Corolla. Designed to wow from the inside out. Get 3.49% APR plus 90 days until your first payment. Panama City Toyota, your Camry and Corolla headquarters. Offers end November 3rd. Visit PanamaCityToyota.com for details.
The Rich Eisen Show.
Kurt Kreischer back on the program. Why are we calling it permission to party?
Certain times you get a permission to party, and it's always when the person that doesn't drink says, I don't know, do you want to do a specialty cocktail tonight? And you're like, I just got permission to party. That energy is the reason I party. And the reason I'll never stop partying. We turned on the hot tub last night, and Leanne goes, should we open a bottle of rosé? And I go, oh, we're getting lit tonight. Like, that energy is what I'm looking forward to.
Rich Eisen weekdays starting at 11, now on ESPN Northwest Florida.
If you build it, they will come. We're live from the CBC Construction Studios. Pound the like and crush the subscribe. The Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson is live on YouTube. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget you can call in. You can text in on the Red 7T phone line 850-215-6290. We are talking with Taylor Devers, Norvell Central, Chop Chat. No, we can't do what we do without our amazing sponsors, AutoNation Ford in Panama City. They are the go-to place for any vehicle that you need worked on. If those guys have your vehicle to get it running, they will take care of it. So no matter what it is, no matter what you do, take it over there to AutoNation Ford in Panama City. Also, don't forget, if your vehicle needs some freshening up, maybe some paint, maybe a dent taken care of, a scratch, take it over to Recommended Collision Center. They will do the job and do it right. Brandon and those guys are professionals. They're local, and they're locally owned and operated, which is very key because they'll take care of you. They won't cookie cut you over there. They'll take care of your needs and do everything you need for your. So go see those guys over at Recommended Collision Center and on Jinx Avenue. Jeff, what you got?
Okay, I got touchdowns to win games and then win bets too. Pick your favorite playmaker to hit pay dirt in Week 7 on Hard Rock Bets. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 or older and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE. And what you think? You think LSU can beat Diego Pavia in Nashville against Vanderbilt?
That's going to be a tough game. I'm more looking at is Nussmeier going to be able to catapult their team to victory?
My God. I mean, they keep on scoring 20 and 23 points.
Yes, not very good.
This is awful. I mean, they've only scored less than that once, and that was the Ole Miss game. I would bet LSU. Not for very many points, though. It would be the under.
Yeah. Well, I want to read some stuff real quick on here. It says losing 3 games in a row is a big deal anywhere in the nation.
You're right.
Also, FSU is going to fire Norvell and then bring in somebody like Manny Diaz or Scott Satterfield.
Manny Diaz.
So there you go.
So let me ask you a question. So if LSU, we didn't lose last week, by the way. We beat South Carolina. But let's treat it like it is a 3-game losing streak. You lose to Vanderbilt and Texas A&M before the Alabama game? Yeah. I mean, they'll be calling for Brian Kelly's head before the Bama game.
So, Taylor, do you remember the beginning of the season? Started talking about all of this, and we talked about Mike Norvell, and we did talk about Brian Kelly. Are we going to, in the next 3 weeks, be talking about coaching changes for the Seminoles, the Gators, and the Tigers?
Let me say this. I think that Florida State-Florida game might be televised on Nickelodeon.
Nick at Night.
It could be that bad. Like, you know how George Lopez used to have his show like back in the day where it was like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., where it would premiere? It might be one of those games.
He did have a talk show. I do remember that.
It's just very confusing. I never would have thought this would be the game of who gets fired first. I don't necessarily think Norvell gets fired, but if Napier keeps losing and it keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and Florida fans are looking at like, man, we're at a 6-game losing streak. You thought 3 was bad for Norvell. Man, 6 is kind of rough for him. And then I'm just waiting for a Scott Strickland post and saying Napier's safe for 2025 and he's going to be coaching in 2026.
Well, I kind of understand Signetti's name not getting popped around from Indiana. But Drinkowitz from Missouri is one that's amazing me that his name's not coming up very often.
Nobody's really talking about him.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
But everybody's talking about Brady, the old LSU quarterbacks coach that was with with the Bills.
He's been at the Saints and all that.
Yeah, so either way, when you look at it, it's going to be interesting. I think an interesting game is going to be the Miami-Louisville game coming into this weekend. What do you think with that one, Taylor? Do you think Louisville at Miami is going to be anything for the Hurricane fans to worry about?
Yeah, I actually do. I think this is kind of a look-ahead spot at this point. You're trying to continually have that experience with Carson Beck. He's been in those type of games. But the problem is Louisville's a hungry team as well. I mean, this is a team that's wanting to compete for the ACC and get to that destination goals that they've always dreamed of, and this is a dangerous spot for Miami on a Friday.
Yeah, those type of games are kind of tricky. I do believe Miami will cover it. I think they'll be good to go. I don't see anybody giving Miami. Now, Georgia Tech, who are they playing this weekend? You said it earlier.
They're playing at Duke.
They're playing at Duke. So that's one of those games that, it's going to be – it could go either way. And when you look at Georgia Tech, we talked about their easy schedule and how that they won't have to play anybody until they get to the Georgia game or until they get to Miami in the ACC championship. But do you see there's a chance that Georgia Tech stumbles right here?
I definitely think that Duke has a chance to compete with them. I mean, Duke is already a favorite in this game. So they're on the road. It's an 11 o'clock game, sleepy noon game, as you saw with Florida State and Pitt last week. Not necessarily saying the time was a factor in that game, but it can definitely mentally screw with you sometimes in those having a college kid, having to wake up super early for pregame warm-up, and next thing you know, you're in a ball game because you kind of slugged your way through the first quarter, and it could definitely get interesting.
Yeah, and just thinking about the timing and getting up for games, and that was the biggest thing for me from Alabama playing at Missouri. I know that, Jeff, you said it wasn't even going to be close, and I told you that those morning games, those early games, going to be close, and that those games scare me. If you want to know what really scares me, those early games scare me because on the road because you're out of pocket, you're not doing the same thing, you don't get your stuff that you normally get done. And then you go play a team that's undefeated and hungry, and that's what was scary to me. Do I think Georgia Tech can still beat Duke, though? I think so. But I don't believe it's going to be I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk. That's kind of what I was thinking. What do you think about that one?
For the health of the ACC, I hate to ask Taylor Devers to root for the Hurricanes, because the ACC championship without Georgia Tech or Miami, and Virginia slips in, or even SMU slips in because they're not eliminated yet. The ACC needs Miami and Georgia Tech to win.
Yeah, that's who I was wondering if that's what's going to happen. Remember, we talked about it, Taylor, that at the beginning of the year that the ACC is going to have some of the going because they're going to be eating on each other all year. Who could you see besides Georgia Tech playing Miami in the ACC championship?
I think it's got to be Louisville at this point. I mean, I understand Virginia's schedule is tough, and I understand that is something they're going to have to go through because they're not used to winning at this type of caliber at this point. But Louisville is a team that's scary, so if they're able to beat a Miami, turn around and both of them have one ACC loss, you're kind of scrambling to kind of figure out what you have in that team. I think they can do it. I mean, they've been there before. They played 2023 against Florida State in the ACC championship, so it's possible.
Yeah. So the Cavaliers' schedule: Washington State, who just played Ole Miss really close, right? But it's a home game for Virginia, and then they're at North Carolina, which the Tar Heels have not been good. At California, so they're going all the way to the West Coast. Then they're playing at home against Wake Forest, not really concerned with that. Then at Duke. Duke could be the biggest spoiler in the world.
Yes.
And then finish off at Virginia Tech. Well, not at Virginia Tech, but at home against Virginia Tech. So really, it's not a top-notch thing.
Yeah, I mean, you have a veteran quarterback in Chandler Morris that is wanting this Virginia team to be there. I'm not saying the loss to Virginia was excusable, because it definitely wasn't. That was a Florida State team that just choked down the line. There were opportunities they could have put the game away. But you have a Virginia team that wants to fight, that wants to be scrappy, that wants to compete for the ACC, and ruin Miami's hope of actually getting that coveted first ACC championship.
Yeah, well, Facebook is going off right now, and you know who it is. It's your buddy. Mm-hmm. And he said on here, Louisville will have 2 conference losses after Friday. And just so you know, the phone guy stinks. That would be you, Taylor. So either way, so when you look at it, Georgia Tech loses to Duke is what people are saying. And he definitely doesn't agree with you, being that Miami is in a dangerous spot at home. Versus
yeah, but with those 2 late season losses last year, it's almost like anything is possible when I'm thinking about Miami. And I hate to even look at that because these guys been 24 years since their heyday, and they've been waiting for this day, and they've held to a team that really doesn't win. It's like me being a Dolphins fan,
That's going to be the question. Who's going to lose their job first? Is it going to be Mike McDaniel? Is it going to be Billy Napier? Is it going to be Brian Kelly? Is it going to be Mike Norvell? Or
Hugh Freeze?
Or Hugh Freeze? Who is going to go next? And it's just like, gosh, because you do know that the Dolphins and the Browns play this weekend. So whoever loses that game, Stefanski or McDaniel could possibly be the one that loses their job. So either way, this year in college football, NFL football, it's just been nuts. And I will say this, Jeff, about what you said earlier, and I know Neil Rivers, one of our listeners, he said anywhere that you have 3 losses, it's devastating for your fans. Don't forget, there were people calling for Kalen DeBoer's head after the Florida State loss, and that was just one loss. So,
and I have LSU fans that are like that. 1 loss, and they're like, "Oh my God, we're the worst." We're Hawaii. It's like, no, you're not Hawaii. You're not that bad.
Yeah, and Christopher Multiconte wanted me to tell you, Jeff, that sometimes he always thinks that they're going to Miami it up, but this year is different, and they are going to go all the way.
The Saints always say that this is our year, and they did it once.
Oh, man.
They might be the worst team in the NFL, too.
You're right. The Titans are bad. Yeah. Panthers are so wishy-washy, it seems like. But, yeah, the Saints are definitely a bottom 2 team.
Well, and that's another job that's open, Who's going to go take that?
Kellen Moore? No, Kellen Moore is going to be their next
job.
Oh, the Titans
job. The Titans job.
Yeah.
So you got all these guys losing their job, and then there's more jobs that are going to be lost, whether it's Stefanski, McDonald, whoever. So you got all of these people. So I got to ask you, give me your score for Florida State Stanford, Taylor.
In any other circumstance, I would say 45-17. But I know this team is going to struggle to the very end. I got 28-17 Florida State, and it's gross to say.
Yeah, I'm with you. You've been listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. Thank you so much for listening in on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We will see you tomorrow, guys.
For the NFL, ESPN Northwest Florida.
This Sunday, it's an NFL triple header. First, the 4-1 Jacksonville Jaguars host the 3-2 Seattle Seahawks. Coverage from Everbank Stadium starts at 11. Kickoff at